I don't want to leave too soon if God is still restoring something beautiful, but I also don't want to stay so long that I confuse hope with ignoring reality.
You cannot build your family's future on the words of a man.
Yes.
His words might be undecided, but his present behavior is very, very decided.
Well, I think the girls seeing what their mum does is really important for their future.
You don't have to recruit them against their dad. What they get to see is a healthy woman stand on her feet, take deep breaths, and live in honesty.
We've been separated for 5 months and he is currently sitting on the fence saying he doesn't know what he wants.
Hope does not have to die. It just has to change addresses. Lights on. Laura Lentz, I love you. If you are brand new to Lights On, we love you. We're glad you're here. It's our podcast. We have all the answers, and we're going to give them all on this one episode. So subscribe, click, like, do all the things. Thank you for being a part of this. We're going to read straight up hot
Are you just going to
questions.
chew that gum the whole time?
Maybe. I just might.
Okay.
I just might. It's a new chapter of Lights On. By the way, it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to do some different things. Have some people on when the time is right. But for right now, I'm chewing my gum and I'm looking at you. I love you. We've had a big couple of weeks.
Sure have.
What do you feel like sharing?
Well, what do you feel like sharing?
Not much. No, we've got a lot going on. I told our, friends on social media, I lost my sister it was a week ago?
A week ago, yeah.
Yeah. And that's been tough. It's been an odd and challenging and beautiful and brutal season. And we've dealt with a lot of loss in our life, but I've never lost a sibling.
Yeah.
And it's a different kind of thing. Like I've always felt like I've tried my best to relate to people that are in a spot like that, but you can't
No.
until you go through it. And it's just been, it's been tough and beautiful. I think my tears have shocked me because they're a different type. All tears tell a different story. And I feel like it's like an avalanche, and then I'm good.
Yeah.
And then you
go through
lose
waves
it.
of it.
Yeah. So I feel like grief is one of those things you hold, you carry it with you as you go, and it doesn't have an end date to it. And I feel like with Mary, my beautiful sister, we have her 2 girls. So shout out to Presley, Shane and Kate. They do listen from time to time to the pod, but we have a lot to be grateful for, a lot to be thankful for. And thank you for everybody that's reached out to us. We felt really loved, really supported, and that's a good, cool thing to be able to say. How about you? What's it been like for you with my family's got a lot going on anyway.
It does.
So you coming from the land of Australian home, I don't know, your family is just a different dynamic. So you step into mine, it's loud.
It's
busy.
It's a lot. But
you add a tragedy and a crisis, it gets a little bit more colorful.
Yeah, there's definitely been some tense moments, but I think it's all really beautiful with your family, and seeing how everyone's handling it and how everyone's come together has been really nice. And how you're all holding that grief, because it's like everyone holds it differently, and just allowing everyone to be able to do that has been really nice to watch.
Yeah, it's been I'm grateful for my family, for sure. Definitely miss mine.
Because she's your oldest sister. And and you're the youngest. So
for
you guys
sure.
had a very special bond between the two of you.
Yeah, she taught me how to ride a bike and gave me a Twix. She was the first person I ever heard listen to Def Leppard. I remember getting in trouble for that. She got in trouble, then I got in trouble because I was listening outside her room. I just love her. I think it's one of those things where I got so many good memories. Yeah. I'm going to sit in those and, just keep running from my waves of
You're not running from them.
Giant tears on this pod. I am. I refuse to cry.
From the pod.
New chapter. There will be no tears. This is business time.
No, but just even, it's a funny thing because she did struggle with a lot of
health stuff,
health issues for decades, and a lot of pain and physical pain and all of that. So knowing that she's not in that anymore kind of gives a relief to us as a family, going, we know she's not struggling anymore. And that's the thing I think that helps as well. Yeah.
And it just feels really good to let it out. Someone said to me, grief has to be witnessed. and it was really helpful. Like, you just need people to hear you sometimes. You don't need it to be reframed. You don't need it to be, you
don't want people to
answers.
try to
no
help you through
no
that.
You just want to be able to say stuff. And yesterday, we went with my mom and dad to Mary's apartment, and it was special. It was just like when you get to share that with family, because everyone gets to laugh and cry in their own way. And I feel like something in this is for all of us, and that's, if you're grieving out there listening to this today, you are just not alone. It's a club nobody wants to be in, but when you walk through it, something you just got to face, got to deal with. I've never lost a family member, so it's just so weird. My mom said it best. She felt like a door had closed, and I was like, Mom, that's a great way to put it, because everybody else, you relate to it differently, but when it's like a sibling, you always think you're going to see them again, talk to them again, and it just is a different feeling. But thank you for all the prayers. This podcast is not going to be about that, but it's worth talking about. So let's do this. So also, by the way, I'm doing this again. So even though we have new stuff, new equipment, new podcast stuff, I'm still going to go radio straight
into the microphone.
Radio host. It feels good in here, though. It feels good to switch up the setting.
Mm-hmm. I
October
like it.
October 20th, our book comes out.
Yes.
I'm excited about it. If you're brand new to our journey, Laura and I have never been through anything. But if we were, we would have put it in a book. Overcoming Infidelity, 10 Conversations That Heal the Hurt. Pre-order that thing. I'm going to explain why. I didn't even know some of the things, because it sounds annoying sometimes when people
you
are like
pre-order.
Like, why? Why
Right.
do you pre-order a book? Turns out, because when a bookstore feels like there's a certain amount of pre-orders, they will stock it with more, which means the people you really want to get your book who don't know you, there's a greater chance they will. So basically, a pre-order is about you know and you love the authors and you believe in the project. That's it.
Right.
So anybody else trying to do anything, I never even knew that. That's why I would never talk about pre-orders, but I will now, because we do want as many people who are outside the bubble to get this.
Yeah.
I mean, we have talked to couples that we just meet that they don't believe what we believe, follow what we follow, but some of the stuff that we do know works in these hard moments. It's really transformative. So if you are a Lights On listener and you believe in what Laura and I are doing, go pre-order that thing. Just click on, and if you've gone through infidelity and loss and betrayal and stuff that's really hard,
Or someone that
it
has.
is a powerful step. Just do an action step, because I don't ever, if you do it today, it's helpful, because then it's on the way and you've already taken one step towards health. And it's not just for people who have gone through infidelity. Right. It's for anybody who's trying to find hope in something that feels so hard. And we love this book. I'm proud of it. I'm not looking forward to doing the audio, but I thought writing it was the last time I wanted to think about some of that stuff. And I'm like, oh yeah, we get to read it. But
can I read yours and you read mine? Because my chapters and your chapters.
I think your chapters are phenomenally awesome, and I think you should read the whole thing. Who votes that Laura's voice should be the entire audiobook?
No, there'd be too many words where people would have to you'd have to do your thing and pipe in and be like, that's not what she said. She's trying to say whatever you do. Well,
Australians do take horrific liberties with our beautiful language that we started in America. It's an American language. It's American. It's American English. Lights On is proud to partner with God Behind Bars, one of the greatest organizations I've ever seen in my life. Talk about bringing light into dark places. If you are interested in being a part of any movement that really matters, please go check out God Behind Bars today online. Go check out all that they have. Jake and his team, they're changing lives every single day. I'm so proud that this podcast is attached to them. And if you're interested, how can I bring light to somebody today? Go check out God Behind Bars. You can write letters, you can volunteer, you can be a part of something that really changes lives for many. God Behind Bars, check it out today. Read some questions. So you can email us at hello@carlandlaura.com.
Yep.
And we've got so many in there, and we're going to pick them apart, try to give you some answers for them. And these are good, just off the cuff, straight from the gold mine of Lights On questions. Nice glasses. They're huge.
Do you like my tassels?
I don't, because it causes havoc in our marriage. She's always fiddling. She's always doing stuff. Matt's terrible. Trust me.
It's good for my ADD. Anyway, okay. First one. What would you say to a couple who are taking steps forward navigating through betrayal? They have a plan. Both are being consistent in their plan, but struggling when one is triggered or working through painful moments from the past that comes up, and it triggers shame in the other person, especially the spouse that has done the betrayal. What would you tell them?
Ooh. What would you tell them, love? Do you want me to go first? I think right off the bat, I would say, if you are the one that betrayed, you have to completely change the way you hold shame forever. Because shame feels like accountability. It's what it feels like. Old school, like, yo, shame on you. But it becomes one of the most self-centered places any man could ever be, especially because their pain is about what happened to them. Shame immediately makes what the moment says about me. So it goes from, I've betrayed you, I've hurt you, I've let my kids down. Think about that, to this makes me what?
Right.
So shame, to anybody dealing with this, and hear me clearly, my brothers, for the guys out there, because shame, I think obviously women deal with shame, but men who go through it, and some men grow up with shame in their DNA because they had a shamey dad and they just learn how to process it differently. If you can change the way you hold shame, you can get free. I had to. I was in trouble with shame because I didn't do great with that anyway. Like sometimes I would carry shame in a weird way. But I thought best case for me was I was going to live a life where I felt shame every day, and I was just going to show up and try to be a good dad. And if you would allow, try to be a good husband. And then someone told me what I just said. Carl, shame for you is selfish.
Right.
And I was like, no, it's not, because I'm so open and receptive to, hardcore therapy.
Was that your therapist said that to you, didn't she?
Alex.
Yeah, she's a badass.
Because shame points everything back at me. So I would immediately, to this awesome person who wrote that in, start to talk about shame a little bit. Like, what is it doing for you? What is it leading towards?
Yeah.
And I get this too, babe. This is real. So when you get triggered by something, I am always tempted to feel shame every time. Yep. And what gets me out of that, like, this is not about me.
Yep.
And then I can show up in a different way. So if your spouse is, when you get triggered, he gets shamed, he's got work to do.
Correct. I had to do the same thing as the codependent who, if I did get triggered by something, I had to go, this is not, I don't have to be scared about his response right now. Whatever his response is, that's his
me.
work. So I think because a lot of women, instead of when they're triggered, they don't bring it up.
Yeah.
They try to push it down or like work through it on their own, which is disastrous.
Yeah.
Instead, I had to go, okay, I'm going to bring this to you, and I would do it instantly. Bring up if something was triggering me, or you could always tell if something was triggering me. So we would talk about it.
Well, often I am the trigger, just existing.
That's true too.
Triggered you for a long time. I'd be like, are you gonna kill me or something? You just look like you have evil intentions.
That's
today.
true.
Yeah,
that was part of it. But being able to share what was triggering and having your response be, and it wasn't always perfect. You would have times when you would go into shame spirals, and then you would always come back. But my job is to get that out of my head and out of my body.
Yeah.
So I would have to say it, and I'd be like, would always have to remind myself, it doesn't matter what his response is going to be.
It's so freaking manipulative too. Okay, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go here because it has to be said. When a guy starts acting shamey, the person who actually needs the care and investment has to now manage my emotions.
Exactly.
Oh, I'm such a bad guy. I can't believe I did this to us. It's a classic manipulation ploy tied to the reason why you got there.
Right.
So you got to understand that now you've taken, I'm triggered. You did this and now I feel triggered. I feel bad. So you, especially, because women are incredible. Like, moms that are carrying stuff and they're trying to get over stuff. They're trying to push through. And now you got to add me, my giant 40-year-old, 40 plus self. It's like, Carl, you're almost 50. Get over it. My 47-year-old self. Now you have to manage how I'm doing. So you go from being honest about your need to like, no, but you're a good dad.
Yeah.
No. You're doing better. That's
right.
not healing.
No.
That's you managing and being codependent again.
Yeah.
So I think it's a big deal. Also, giant difference between remorse and shame might be worth pointing out for people, because remorse says, I hate that my choices hurt you. And that's a big deal. Tell me what you need. That I'm remorseful. I hate that what I did hurt you. Shame, I hate who I am because of this.
Right.
Please make this feeling go away. Doesn't work. So being remorseful is a choice. Being shamey is a choice. And one is powerful, the other becomes a prison.
Did you have in therapy, like, did you get any tools from Alex or whatever, or in your group? How did you get through that shame?
We didn't really go over you asking me spontaneous questions.
Sorry.
Let's stay in the box. That's what happens when you give a woman a microphone. It's like that guy become a Baptist preacher.
No, but like you're saying all this, but because you had to do this.
Immediate confession. Like I am healing. I am on a new path.
This is what you're saying.
Yes.
Yeah, you're saying this out
loud. You
loud.
have to speak it out. So guys who live in shame, they're solo. Normally it's solo. So you got this shame factory cooking. And the best way to do it is you got to think something new. You got to speak it out. I don't live in shame. I live in power. I live in freedom. I live in forgiveness. I did these things. I am no longer living a life that will ever put my family in that position. So I cannot change what I did, but I'm changing this man every day. Power, right away. Power, over and over and over and over. As long as it took you to get shamey, that's how long it's going to take you to get strong plus.
Right.
Very simple concept. The job of the guy who's done the betraying, it's never to not feel shame. You're going to be tempted to feel shame. Real thing. Your job is to stop giving shame the keys. Shame can be in your car once in a while, but you got to get that thing out at the first Jiffy Lube or 7-Eleven. Got to get it out. Definitely can never drive. So I think your pain in our relationship has to produce more presence from me.
Right.
Not distance.
Yeah.
Not withdrawal.
Right.
Not
and I
avoidance.
think that's what happens a lot.
That's what shame does. I can't disappear. Every time you get triggered, I can't disappear. That's when you need me the most.
Right.
And that's some of our most powerful healing things that I can look back on.
Well, that's how safety is created.
Yes.
Because it's about the intimacy of those moments.
Yes.
Over everything.
100%. So I think that's every trigger you can stay present for, guys. It's new evidence that you're becoming a new person. Mm-hmm. So if you want to prove to a woman that you're trying to build trust again, don't be a little you-know-what when she gets triggered. Ooh,
right.
You're triggered again. How long are you going to be triggered? Memo. You can be triggered for the rest of your life. Mm-hmm. And it's my job to show up every time with the same grace. And I'm proud. I shouldn't say, I'm proud of the fact that I reframe that. And now, because it used to kill me every time, I'd be like, oh, what am I doing? All the triggers would be about me. Right. That's not necessarily the case. Like there's a balance there to understand my role in that. So Great freaking question. Powerful revelation on this. It could be said, the betrayed spouse should not have to abandon their pain to rescue you from your shame. Let me stop healing myself so I can sit here and coddle you. So you've wrecked my life, destroyed our trust, put our whole family in jeopardy, and now I get to sit here and make sure you're not shamey. Get out of here with that. No. It's garbage. Yeah. There's something better for you. This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. Laura and I have talked about counseling and growth for years, and I like being able to point people to this. People genuinely love their experience with BetterHelp. You don't take our word for it. You can go look for yourself. They actually have a review page that's updated every day with feedback from people who've used the service. More than 6 million people around the world have used BetterHelp, and their therapists have significant hands-on experience along with education and training that you would hope for if you're going to trust people with what's going on inside your soul. So if you decide to give it a try, getting started is really simple. They'll match you with a therapist based on what you're looking for. If it doesn't feel like it's the right fit, you can switch to somebody else. Asking for help is not a weakness. It is wisdom. So if you'd like to learn more, visit betterhelp.com/lightson. Hello, Carl and Laura. I just wanted to introduce ourselves and first and foremost, thank you. Your podcast has truly been life-changing for both me and my wife. Not only individually, but for our marriage as well. Our story has a lot of similarities as yours. I grew up in a pastor's home, attended Bible college, and spent about 20 years in ministry.
During our 21 years of marriage, I had multiple affairs that deeply wounded my wife and our family. A little over a year ago, we were given the incredible gift of attending a 2-week intensive at Restoring the Soul in Denver.
Love it.
Wow. That experience became the starting point for real healing and our own marriage 2.0. God has done so much in both of us since then, and we're incredibly grateful. One question I've had as I've listened to your podcast is about making amends. I don't recall hearing Carl talk much about that part of the process. Is making amends something you generally recommend? If so, do you have any guidance on what that should look like?
Yeah.
A few days ago, a woman from 15 years ago messaged me to tell me what a piece of shit I am. My wife is aware and has left it up to me if I want to respond to her. Any advice would be greatly appreciated. Thank you again for your honesty, vulnerability, and willingness to share your story. It has given us so much hope and has been our therapy when we couldn't afford it. We have tremendous respect and admiration for both of you, and we're grateful for the impact you've had on our lives.
That's awesome. So to the amends.
Yes.
Huge deal. I think making amends is a lifelong opportunity for you to own the impact that your actions had on people without demanding a single thing back. That's the beauty of amends. And I have talked about it a little bit, but I haven't really leaned into that because I do feel like as a Jesus follower, making amends is our life. So that wasn't a hard one for me when I went through probably a similar program. But for me, making amends. So if you have a big world, big platform, you don't have it's not even a luxury. You don't really have the opportunity to sometimes apologize and make amends where you can,
right?
Directly. You got to do it in mass. So that's what we call living amends. This podcast is part of my living amends. I can't go to, millions of people were impacted by my choices. I can't obviously go meet every person and say, I'm so sorry for the impact that my actions had on you. What I can do is live a life that is built around giving people hope in the same exact areas. So some people are like, why do y'all do a podcast? I'm like, one of the reasons is that because I wanted to be able to do something. The least I can do is talk about our journey. It's how I can make some living amends. And beyond that, though, I think it's not an amends is not an apology designed to make you feel clean.
Right.
That's not the point of this. It's just straight up pure ownership. I did this. It affected you. I do not defend it. I don't need you to forgive me. I don't need you to understand me. I don't need you to reassure me. None of this is on you. I just need you to know that I am sorry for what I did and the impact it had on you.
Yeah.
That person can flick you off. They can scoff at you. They can accept it. That's not your role. Your role is to make amends where you can, when it's possible. And there's a whole lot of power in this. And people get this confused. And I don't know where you're about to go with this, but not every amends means renewed contact.
Correct.
Does not mean that. Hey, I thought we made amends. Yeah, we made amends.
But it doesn't mean
does not mean that we have a relationship now or ever again. Thank you, because that's called a manipulative amend.
Right.
Hey,
I was going to say,
I said I'm sorry. Are we kicking it later?
Yeah.
Never. I'll never kick it with you.
I was going to say you've had a lot of people that you've either run into or people from your past that you've been able to either do it in person if you see someone, or if you've got some people that have reached out from Hillsong, whatever, that you've been able to get on a call or a FaceTime, and you've done that. It doesn't mean that you haven't even talked to them since that. No. It's just like they get to say what they need to say.
It's in their court.
Yeah.
When you betrayed people, it's in their court forever.
But I will say in this situation, it's a woman that's a... what is that called?
I'll speak to that.
Oh, yeah.
I got an angle on that, I think. But I think it's... Sometimes you need to ask yourself honestly, if you're thinking about making amends today, is this going to reopen a wound in that person, or is it serving my needs more than theirs?
Right.
And you got to really think that through. There have been times where I've been like, I would like to call this person, but I don't know where they're at. Yeah. And just hearing my voice could be a problem.
Trigger,
whatever. I love them too much for that, so I'll let them. But then there are other times where I'm like, no, this is good. This might actually be really helpful for them, and the time feels right, the situation feels right, and you're able to make, amends. But it's not the question. If you're looking like about if you're contemplating amending things in anybody's world, the question's not what's going to make me feel better. It's this question: what does love and responsibility require of me? That means, okay, love and responsibility requires of me to not contact that person.
Right.
Other times, love and responsibility requires me to show up, face the music, look at you eye to eye. I had a beautiful, one of our dear friends from back in the day. It took her 6 years to be able to reach out. And we had a beautiful conversation. And she told me exactly how she felt about me.
Yeah.
And I just said, thank you. It was really beautiful to hear. I was able to say, by the way, also, I'm so sorry. Like it was a really cool, I felt like, I don't know what her purpose was, and that's not my business. I don't need to know why you
don't need to know
me.
that.
I won't stand there and let someone berate me or say something crazy to me ever, but I'm always open to hear what people have to say, beyond there's that one type of person that wants to make you feel small or feel bad again. You can't make me feel anything, but you can share your heart for sure. Right. I'll say this too. If you're unable to make amends with a particular person, and it's on you, that's the area that still holds power. And there have been people where I was making amends. I was like, I will never make amends with that person. And it's like, that's actually where all your power is.
Right.
So feel free to not run. It's easy. You tend to make amends with people they're going to accept it at first. It's all good, bro. It's all good, man. I love you. I've always loved you. Cool. It's all the other people that amends is for. Yeah, it's a big deal. Lights On is proud to partner with Wonder Project. Wonder Project can be your new entertainment home on Prime Video. It's the first place to go when you want courageous stories that inspire hope and restore faith in things worth believing in. The stories we let into our homes, they matter. We know this. They shape how we see the world, which is why being intentional about what you watch it is so worth it. Finding entertainment that actually reflects your faith and your values used to feel like a step down, a compromise. Every time, but Wonder fixes that finally. Original series and films like The House of David, It's Not Like That, Sarah's Oil, plus curated titles added every single month, all in one place. So all my fellow parents out there, listen up. No more endless scrolling and debating about what to watch. Wonder makes it simple with content that is already safe and still incredible. So family show watching as a crew just got a little bit easier. To get started, it takes about 30 seconds. Open Prime Video, go to subscriptions, add Wonder Project, and you're done. No new app, no new login. Start your free trial today. What were you going to say about the woman?
Well, this question is, it's a woman that he's obviously had a past with. Is it appropriate for him to, from 15 years ago, bring, like you said, bring back those emotions or that connection with someone? I know from having been being the wife is asking this question. Well, she was saying she's leaving it in his court.
Mm-hmm. Well, first of all, is that a trap?
Yeah, I wonder how.
Is she being honest? Yeah.
Is she being fully honest? Because for me, that would bring up, I don't know that I would feel comfortable with that.
But also, love, there's also times you are. It's like
exactly. It depends on that.
So if she's saying, let's say her what she said is true. She's left it in his court. I would just tell him to slow way down. Mm-hmm. And really, really think that one through, because he doesn't owe an immediate response just because this person, reached out. But if responding is appropriate, he can own what he did without explaining himself, defending himself, correcting her emotions, or asking for forgiveness. So on that one, it's going to be a play-by-play.
Yeah.
And if you feel safe, I can't imagine that situation in my personally. If I'm in that spot, I can't imagine having a conversation like that.
That's what I was.
Out of respect for you, out of respect for the situation at all. But everybody's different. So,
well, I
would like to give them some hope when it comes to you don't owe people.
You don't owe. Yes,
no, absolutely not.
It's not just because someone reached out. You don't owe everyone.
No, it's not about
because some people do it for the wrong reasons.
Absolutely. Especially if you're an ex-addict, ex-liar, haven't landed all those planes. The last thing you need to be doing is having a heart-to-heart with the person that destroyed your life.
Exactly.
That's ludicrous. So, yes. Amends are not about repairing your freaking reputation. They're about repairing your relationships with a new level of responsibility. Mm-hmm. So I'll say that again. Amends are not about repairing your reputation. Reputations are essentially unrepairable. Mm-hmm. All you can do is live your life. Other people make up your reputation to a degree. Correct. In that regard. But it's about just repairing what you can with a lot of responsibility. So it's beautiful. It's a great question. Make amends wherever you can. If you're having a bad day, go find a way to make peace with somebody. It's beautiful.
Hi, Carl and Laura. I found your podcast last year after discovering my husband was having an affair. I found a lot of hope listening to your story and the possibility that God's grace restoring our marriage could be one day possible. However, I have been living in the reality of a husband who seems to be avoiding reconciliation with God and any personal growth and healing. The affair ended before he moved out. However, infidelity has been a repeated pattern. There was dating apps, porn, first affair 13 years ago in our 25 years of marriage. I am becoming stronger and getting help to find out where I have enabled his behavior. I would always confront anything I found, but due to patterns in my own upbringing, views on divorce, I found it really hard to ask anyone for help in the past with keeping him accountable to stopping or changing the behavior. And I would not push for evidence of change, as I guess deep down I knew it would only be short-lived and the hurt cycle would continue. We've been separated for 5 months and he is currently sitting on the fence saying he doesn't know what he wants. He has been reluctant to talk to any friends or get any counseling. I am sure there are some very deep wounds and patterns from childhood, especially mother wounds, which is why he needs validation from women. He has not shown emotional vulnerability over the years, and I have always had to be the one to bring up the hard conversations. We have 2 teenage girls, 13 and 15, who are living 100% with me. I put my foot down and I told them 2 weeks ago about the affair. My husband, to that point, had been insistent he would tell them when he was ready, but they both knew there was more to the story and I didn't want to live with that secret. I know your journey took a more positive path with you stepping up and doing the work, Carl. However, do you have any advice on how to parent, lead, navigate them through healing with their dad? Because it just isn't currently or potentially ever going to show up emotionally for them. I have listened to your episode from the 28th of April on parenting, but there is a strong message that a healing dad and marriage will help the kids heal. What if this just is not the case?
Got it.
I'm finding it complex to be vulnerable but also strong, showing them that I'm healing while not speaking hate towards him and allowing his actions to speak for themselves. My hope is that they can see what my personal growth looks like and what it does not. Please help.
Okay, so you cannot build your family's future on the words of a man.
Yep.
You cannot do it on the hope of who he might become. Mm-hmm. You have to build a family on the evidence you have. Evidence. And what a beautiful, transparent, vulnerable email. Thank you for sharing it. It's very clear to me that you already know exactly possibly where to go with this. But I think you got to respond to the evidence of the man he is. And this is a serious thing because it's like, I think it might be helpful to stop calling his position on the fence. Multiple affairs,
right?
Refusal to get counseling, separation, reluctance to seek any help. I think she said no demonstrative movement towards reconciliation. All of these are evidence this brother has picked his side of the fence very clearly.
Yes.
His words might be undecided, but his present behavior is very, very decided. This episode of Lights On is sponsored by Policy Genius. And there's something about this time of year with summer coming right around the corner, being around family, thinking about fun. It just reminds you what actually matters in this life. And with that does come responsibility. Taking care of your people, taking care of your kids, even your parents at times, thinking ahead, making sure things are in place. And that's why I do love what Policy Genius does. It makes getting life insurance feel straightforward instead of something you just keep putting off, Policy Genius is an online insurance marketplace that lets you compare quotes from top companies side by side for free. Their licensed team will help you find what fits you, coverage, pricing, all of it without the guesswork. This does not have to be an overwhelming thing, and that's why Policy Genius is so helpful. With them, you can see if you can find 20-year life insurance policies starting at just $276 a year for over $1 million in coverage. So head to policygenius.com to compare life insurance quotes from the top companies and see how much you could save. That's policygenius.com. It's a great time to take responsibility for the people you love the most. Check it out today. And there's also this present reality that you might want to consider, our dear friend. You might have unintentionally taught that this behavior is tolerated, that there would be no meaningful consequence, because he's kind of calling the bluff here. So he's picked up on that daily, and he's well aware that I've been cheating on you. I've been a jerk to you our whole marriage, and you've never done a thing about it. So I'll get around to getting better when I feel like it. He's one thing about this man, he's very consistent. He's been consistently not, I guess, a guy that's showing up, for his family. And so he's got some consistency. There's hope for him. If he can kind of switch the direction of the consistency. But I think that's a big deal, because ownership can be taken by you. And that sometimes is the most powerful thing somebody can do in the situation. And with the girls, this is actually a cool little angle here. You don't have to recruit them against their dad.
No.
It's not your responsibility to protect him, to shield him, to narrate him, to make him look a certain way. I think the power is letting your girls know what the truth is. And what they get to see is a healthy woman stand on her feet, take deep breaths, push through something really hard, and live in honesty. Because right now, he's picked his side of the fence. It's called the I'll get around to it because you're not going to go anywhere side. So currently what they see is all of that. Kids internalize this. They can see it. They can feel it. They can sense it. And now they're going to see something different. And I think that's kind of where the hope and the power can be.
Well, I think the girls seeing what their mum does is really important for their future. Yes. Huge. It's the mom template. And this is actually a cool angle for you, my friend. You get to show them that they can love their dad while also not pretending that this behavior is acceptable. So now they just got twice the capacity to say, no. I grew up in a house where I learned how to love somebody while also not accepting horrific behavior. These two things can go together. I can love somebody and completely call this out. If you don't teach them, now they're going to think that kind of behavior is normal. Not only will they be a woman that tolerates it, but they will find a man that produces it. And it's important,
that's what they know.
100%. And I think it's important for them, if possible, to get them some sort of therapy. So they can talk about some of the feelings and emotions that would be coming up that they don't feel comfortable telling you, or obviously the dad. Doesn't sound like they have much contact with him right now, but they need to be able to get that. They're at very vulnerable ages, being 13 and 15. I would suggest finding someone that they can talk to, a teenage therapist for them.
It's been vital for us. Big revelation moment on this would be, I think the pain of discovering who their dad really is less than the pain of discovering years down the road that mom accepted a life that was far beneath what she was worth. I would rather teach your kids how to suffer well, that dad is not who you think he is. This is who he is. Let them process that in power, rather than them live under an illusion and then get hit with the double banger of dad was a jerk and you accepted that. For us, there's not an adult child in the world who looks at their parent and says, thank you for allowing yourself to have an unhealthy, toxic life. For me, it's a trap. And so I love it when people ask that question, because very common to just try to protect the kids. But we got great advice, which was teach your kids how to suffer well right now.
100%.
And it was one of the best things we ever heard. Okay, do one more. These are great questions. Thank you for sending them in. And these are just our angles. Just our ideas, our submissions. And we're always right, but you can handle that.
I don't want to leave too soon if God is still restoring something beautiful, but I also don't want to stay so long that I confuse hope with ignoring reality.
Okay, great question. Common. Hope and reality are not enemies. They're not enemies. Healthy hope actually begins with reality. So one immediate idea for you, our beautiful friend who sent this in, completely change the object of your hope. That's what I would say, even reading that. What if God is still restoring something beautiful and that thing is you? So what if I leave and God's restoring something beautiful? You're referring to the marriage being the object of your hope. Switch that today. You're the thing God is restoring. You're worth it. That is beautiful. And now you've got a potential opening for a beautiful miracle down the road. But if all your hope, if that's the metric, no, the hope is for what God's doing in your life. And I think that's, you don't have to know the eventual outcome of the marriage to participate fully in what God is restoring. That's awesome. Because it's like, some people only, if the marriage is going well, I'm getting better. If it's not, everything's going wrong. It's not true. Can't work like that. Our story is not like that. A marriage requires two people for participation.
Yep.
So look at the evidence. If two people are honest and they're safe and they're fulfilled and they're doing what they need to do, there's a great chance that things can be restored, but only you can take control of you. And so there's hope in that. I think if the evidence doesn't exist, hope does not have to die. It just has to change addresses.
Yeah.
So it's like, I want to stay, but what if God's, no. I want to stay. Look at the evidence. Now go to God. I want to stay.
That's good.
There's no evidence, but I have hope. No, you have hope in the wrong thing. So I'm going to change my address of hope now. I still have hope for my life. I've got hope for a beautiful future, hope for the marriage as I knew it. There's no evidence for that. That's no longer hope. That's disillusioned dreaming. So you got to make a big call there to go, okay, I'm going to shift my hope address to God's restoring me day in and day out. My future is going to be incredible. I'm either going to have a brand new marriage or a brand new path ahead of me, but I'm not waiting around because I think, well, what if God, no, God's been very clear. Yeah. He's leading you already. You got to listen to that.
That's good. Let's
land this plane here. This is really helpful. And I hope this has been helpful for you listening. I think the invitation I would give, the through thread of those 4 questions would be to look directly at reality. Study the reality. Ask yourself, what am I currently wishing was different that I need to first accept as true? What do I wish was different that I first have to accept as true? There's so many people who are like, oh, I wish my marriage was different. You haven't accepted the fact that it's horrible right now. Right. You're skipping over that part. So go grab that, embrace that, address that. Accepting reality does not mean you approve of it or you endorse it or you want more of it. It doesn't mean it won't change. It just means that now you're going to start building the tomorrow you really want on today's actual reality. That's the good stuff. So I think today's your invitation is to, as hard as it might be, look at the reality, not just the empty hope that you've painted in your mind. And from there comes an even better picture of hope. So that would be our invitation. Maybe it's just becoming healthier on the inside. That's the invitation for everybody. Email us at, what is it?
hello@carlandlaura.com.
Yeah. And be kind to yourself today as you listen. If you are dealing with shame, be kind to yourself. If you have been the recipient of shameful things, be kind to yourself because you're doing better than you think you are. And we're out of here. Until next time, follow it, subscribe, like, share, send. Download, do it all. We love you. This has been Lights On. It's Laura Lentz's show. I'm just here for the ride.
That's true.
Bye for now.
Bye.